I want to go through Psalms 119 for a little while. One of the things I always notice is Psalms 119 is so long, and a lot of times it's part of a reading plan or something, so we blow through it, and it's all these verses, and it's packed full of information, and so I would like to go through Psalms 119 a little slower. It's broken up into 22 different parts, and so I want to take each section and just look at it because I think there's a wealth of information that can help us. So let me start with the first 8 verses. It says this in Psalms 119, "Joyful are people of integrity who follow the instructions of the Lord. Joyful are those who obey his laws and search for him with all their hearts. They do not compromise with evil, and they walk only in his paths. You have charged us to keep your commandments carefully. Oh, that my actions would consistently reflect your decrees. Then I will not be ashamed when I compare my life with your commands. As I learn your righteous regulations, I will thank you by living as I should. I will obey your decrees. Please don't give up on me." Isn't that great? One of the things I noticed right off the bat in Psalms 119, the first 2 verses say that people that follow the Lord are joyful. And I thought that was interesting because so often you look around and people that say, well, I just live how I want to, or, I want to be free from all those religious rules. They don't seem to have much joy. Yet people that have integrity, people that obey what God wrote in his book, seem to be joyful people. Must be something to that. In the next section, I thought there was some really cool things, but I love the part as it ends. It says, "Please don't give up on me." I think that's my prayer all the time. Please don't give up on me. And why does he pray that? Well, it's really in those verses before. He begins by saying, don't compromise with evil. And that's really speaks to your values. What are your life values? What are your personal values? What do you hold dear? How do you live and how do you choose to live? What are your choices based on? Those are values. And each person needs a set of life values to help them make decisions. And here, the life values that are taught says, I won't compromise with evil. I'm going to let the Bible guide my steps. In the next section, he says, you have charged us to keep your commands. And then he says that my actions would consistently reflect your decrees. There's this piece about consistency. And again, it goes back to your values. If you have values, you can live consistently because you have a foundation for your life. Then I will not be ashamed when I compare my life with your commands. He talks about comparing your life, and we've talked about this before. I always tell you, don't compare your life to other people, but that's not what he's doing. He's comparing his life to the commands of God, to the Bible. Now there's something you can compare to. Not to someone else, not to try to be better or worse. Just compare your life to what God has asked you to do. And then he says, I will thank you by living as I should. That's my response to God's love for me, is I will live the way that the Bible has asked me to live. I will try to live my life based on these values in a consistent manner, comparing myself to what God has written. And guess what? God won't give up on you. He loves you. Have a great day.